Okay, thank you for joining tonight's class. If you're live, and thank you for listening to the recording if you're doing that. It's the 14th of September 2021, and tonight's class is on setting boundaries. I will record the body relaxation and the breathing meditation for this one because it's a shorter class. And yeah, the reason for doing meditation sometimes is to give our mind clarity to think about things that would otherwise be not so easy to think about. When we sit down to meditate as a beginner, particularly as a beginner, and it can carry on for years actually, but particularly as a beginner, we start to notice that what we thought was concentration actually is just mental wandering. It's the mind that's uncontrolled and it poodles around and it thinks it's choosing to think all these different things. When we set up a task to come back to a focal point, a datum, a focal point for our thoughts, and watch them go away and then come back and then think about it, and then our mind wanders off and then we come back. Only then are we really aware to the degree that we can concentrate and therefore contemplate subjects and objects quite carefully, considered and carefully. In a meditative way, which means in a still kind of careful way that starts to become heartfelt. If we're doing it on a piece of paper with a mind map or whatever, we can flesh things out. We can have views on things and ideas, but it's not coming in here in the same way that we do when we meditate. It's why it's good to slow the mind down with a preliminary meditation of breathing or yoga, whatever it might be, and then explore a subject in a heartfelt way. And so with setting boundaries, which is tonight's class, we could very easily do this in a very dry, pragmatic way, a very dry, cerebral, thoughtful way. Wouldn't be a problem. However, we can get deeper into it in a personal way in meditation. So hopefully that's what you'll experience. That's what's on offer. And beyond this class too, we can repeat this, listen to it on the YouTube channel, or practice this meditation ourselves, sit quietly and consider boundaries. But I'll come on to that shortly. We'll do the body relaxation and the breathing meditation first. So even doing this, we've just set a boundary in our week to have some meditation in it, to have a place where we meditate and our mind states get conditioned to our places. It's very helpful to have a particular place where we meditate, not to make it a rule, but you'll start to find that your mind fits into a groove depending on the place it's in. So we set a place and we set a time, and we therefore put a boundary in place. And actually that's amazing, because the mind on its own, left to its own devices, just does not do this. It does not set a space for peace. It searches for peace endlessly, even in our dreams. But it's quite rare for the mind to set space for peace, to create it. So you can be very happy about this straight from the start. What we're doing is wonderful, generating more peace in the world. So bring your awareness to the room that you're in. And become aware of the body in the chair. So with tonight's theme, we can be aware of the boundary, as it were, between the body and the rest of the universe, the outside and the inside as it appears. Become aware of your body is to become aware of how this boundary appears. Contact mainly via pressure on the skin, air temperature, muscle tension. So this is our physical boundary. The little bit of space around this body, we instinctively don't like it encroached by others unless we've given them permission, or if we're switched on a bus or whatever, train. But in general situations, we feel there's a boundary, a loose boundary outside of this body, outside of this skin. And if someone stands very close, we can feel ill at ease with it, uncomfortable with it. So we have a sort of a soft boundary around us, and we have a boundary that is essentially our skin, if you like. And then anything or anyone entering inside of this skin needs permission, such as a sexual partner, a doctor. So we can't think of any others. Maybe they're the two. Maybe they should be the two. Dentist actually. So I'd like to become aware of your mouth and consider that when you go to the dentist, you are giving consent to another person to enter your body. When a doctor does an operation, we give consent for them to enter our body. When somebody gives us the COVID jab, we're giving them consent to stick something inside of our body, inside of our arm. And sometimes maybe we don't think about this every time we go to the dentist or the doctors, or for an operation, or to have a jab, take blood. Maybe we don't consciously think, I'm giving permission right now for my physical boundary to be crossed. So we can become aware of the jaw muscles. Allow your jaw muscles to relax. And allow the face muscles to relax. I'm going to relax our body. So we're wearing clothes right now. You may or may not be, if you listen to this as a recording. But clothes form a boundary, don't they? Some places legally have to wear clothes. Some places we prefer to wear clothes. Some places maybe we prefer not to wear clothes. So sometimes society sets boundaries for that, and sometimes we set boundaries. Maybe we set boundaries for our children at different ages. You know, when they're tiny, run around with no clothes on around the house as, you know, toddlers, might be very cute, bath time. But then children get to a certain age and it's, you know, appropriate for them to wear clothes more at bath time and such like, and around the house. So we get conditioned by society and our own self-consciousness as we get older to put a boundary in place regarding clothing. And others don't get to take our clothes off unless we give permission. So become aware of your left arm from your shoulder. So there's a soft boundary around it, personal distance. There's the clothing boundary covered up. There's the skin boundary inside of body and outside of body. As you scan all the way down your arm, relax off any tension or tightness you find inside. As you go all the way down to the fingertips. Now the same from the right shoulder, scanning down with your mind, any tension or tightness you find, loosen it off. Now from the left hip, scanning down the left leg. Relaxing deeply. Now the same from the right hip. Scanning down, relaxing. Now the shoulders and the neck, we can relax them off. Bring your awareness to this area. Imagine warm summer sunshine beating down on the shoulders and the neck. Elongating the tendons, having the head in a nice posture so the neck's not under stress carrying the head. And relax. I'm going to relax the abdomen by visualizing black smoke swirling around inside of our body cavity. And bound up in it is our tendency to sometimes not set boundaries to protect ourselves and therefore to protect others. And then with 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths, visualize this black smoke dissipating into the distance and taking with it the tendency we may have to not always set good boundaries, beneficial boundaries. Saying goodbye to poor boundary setting. So breathe out. Now, as we breathe in, visualize golden sparkling light coming in through the nostrils. And imagine bound up in this beautiful golden light is the skill and wisdom to set healthy, beneficial boundaries. Help us to stay safe and rest and have fun and enjoy and learn and practice and do stuff. As you breathe in sparkling golden light, and imagine within it is the wisdom and the skill to set really good boundaries that we can enjoy. That can transform our life from today onwards. Breathing in the sparkling golden light, imagine it starts to pervade the body and the mind. Imagine it even pervades the soft boundary around you that is your social distance, your comfort zone. So we can imagine now that we have some boundaries in place that we really feel secure with and comfortable with and want to enjoy. We can really enjoy boundaries. So we're imagining now that we've got some boundaries set that we're really happy with. Imagine how this will feel, how this feels. Okay. Now we just allow some breath in. Nice, deep, relaxing breaths in. All the way down. And all the way back out. Now we bring our awareness into our nostril linings and we notice the cool and warm sensations ever changing inside our nose. This brings our mind to peace, to less distraction and more ability to discern in the second step or decide in the second step what our boundaries are going to be. So really enjoy settling the mind down, coming back to this sensation in the nostrils. Don't worry how many times your mind wanders away, it doesn't matter. The process will bring some peace. And finally, we bring our awareness to the rims of our nostrils. You may have done this hundreds of times, breathing meditation. We'll try to do it fresh each time. Notice where it's most cool and most warm as you breathe in and out. Don't tense up behind the eyeballs. This makes the mind too tight and will stir up more busy thoughts. You may then conclude you're not very good at meditating. Just relax behind the eyes. Bring the careful attention to the rims of the nostrils and note where it's most cool and most warm and stay with those. If you're feeling slouchy or sleepy, dull-minded, check your posture. Apply a little extra concentration if you need. Okay, for the next minute or so, just refine your concentration. Stay focused for a little longer in a relaxed way, but commit to staying with the breath. It brings peace. We want peace. Okay, so stay in meditation. So we're going to use this settled down mind. Don't worry if you've still got thoughts moving about. We're going to use this more relaxed mind, more settled mind to contemplate our boundaries. So if we were to have a house that had no door on it, i.e. had no boundaries, we could let all sorts of unsavory characters into our house who may kill us or rob us, mistreat us. So we don't, we put a door on with a lock. We don't put 16 padlocks and never go out, which would be the other extreme of having boundaries so tight that all the joy went out of our life. We do something in between. We have locks on doors and we use them skillfully, weighing up the risks and how we're going to live our life. It's the same with every boundary, and boundaries can change with circumstances and with age. So we can review boundaries. Maybe today there are boundaries you have that you were happy with 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 week ago, that require refreshing, reconsidering. They're the ones that we can easily let slip because we did set a boundary, rather than none at all, but it's not serving us as it might anymore. So I'd like you to consider, with self-kindness, with self-care and self-kindness, what boundaries aren't serving you the same as they used to? Which boundaries do you have that need tweaking? Maybe the way you allow people to speak to you, maybe your physical boundaries around people, sexual boundaries, financial boundaries. If your mind wanders away, come back to this question: which boundaries need tweaking in your life? Let your mind stay relaxed and let the thoughts flow, focused on the topic. If you're struggling, ask yourself which boundaries may be too tight or which may be too loose for now. Okay, if you haven't already done so, move to other boundaries. Where you could ask yourself, where do I need boundaries that are not there at the moment? Where do I need a boundary that is not there at the moment that could really help me? And help others. Sometimes boundaries crop up, considering boundaries crop up with friends and family. Very hard boundaries sometimes. Is it healthy to have this person in my life at the moment? If it is, it is. Maybe go through a directory, if that's the right word, of people. Do a little mental audit of boundaries with people in your life. Which ones, each person, family and friends, is it safe and healthy for you to have them in your life at the moment? Maybe it is for them all, but it's worth doing the exercise. It's thought-provoking. It's a check. When we say no to something, we're saying yes to a new opportunity, a new space, a new thing. Now we can think about this a little bit more. If you've got children, you'll naturally think about boundaries with children. It'll come into your mind naturally. So think about as the protective factor in your child's life, the protective element in your child's life. Which boundaries need tweaking in that relationship to make them happier and you happier? To be healthy for them and to be healthy for you. Think about the boundaries with the children. And decide which boundaries can be healthily and happily improved. And we can imagine the improvement that can be had from this for all, for everyone concerned. Children need flexible, reliable boundaries. They know someone is in their corner because of the boundaries that they sometimes kick and scream against. Whilst they kick and scream, they're comforted as someone's looking after them. It's their job to push against them because they're growing. And they're adventurous, and they're annoying, and they're funny, and all the other things. And they're testing our commitment to them. When they test our boundaries, they're testing our commitment to keeping them safe. It's like tugging on a rope, abseiling. We want to know that rope's there and it's safe. We give it a pull, put some force into it. We can view this when children push our boundaries. They're pulling on that rope on the cliff, on the abseil. They're checking you there. Okay, before we come out of meditation, this has been a very practical meditation in terms of carrying things forward from it. So you've probably contemplated various boundaries. Now's just the time to check which ones, it might be all of them, it might be a few, it might be one, which ones you're really going to commit to putting in place or keeping in place. Going to commit to it. We're going to write them down afterwards. So don't worry about trying to remember them all. Allow yourself to feel that commitment, that happy commitment that understands, that recognizes that this is a healthy, happy thing. It can be a very gentle way of setting a boundary. It can be a very firm way of setting a boundary. Before we come out of meditation, we can just recognize just how important boundaries are for a healthy, functioning life. Essential. And that we can see them in a very happy, kind, positive light, even when it seems like tough love. Before we come out of meditation, we can wish for all children to have healthy, safe, supportive boundaries. May all children find healthy, supportive boundaries and have them exhibited to them so that they can parent to when the time comes in a way that's healthy and nurturing. What we're doing, we're setting an example to the future generations. Children learn by example, not what comes out of our mouth. If you don't have children, same exercise with friends and family, same thing. And other people's children. And then when it feels comfortable, just gently allow your eyes to open. Stay aware of the enjoyable commitment, determination to keep boundaries and put them in place, new ones, tweak old ones. And if you need to, and there's no rush, if you need to, write them down in your phone or on a piece of paper, just go over them again mentally. Now's the time. Okay. Thank you very much for joining in. Hope you found that a very peaceful, skillful way to contemplate boundaries and seeing them in such a positive, uplifting light, healthy light. And yeah, thank you for meditating with us. Okay. Don't forget that you can sign up for reminders for these classes on the front page of the website, paulfollows.com, and also there are other meditations like this on the YouTube channel, Paul Follows Meditations. Okay, thank you.